everybody, it is Brooke with the Junk Parlor. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to go around Gold Rush Days in Oronoco. This is a flea market that takes over the town of Oronoco. I have been helping my girlfriend Marsha set up, and we calculated it up. It has been 7 years of me helping her. So Marsha and I met back when I used to set up at shows a lot. We set up across from each other at the Walnut Antique Show, which is another good show to go check out. That basically the flea market, the antique show, takes over the town. And then it always seemed to work out that we were close to each other when we set up at Junk Jubilee in Des Moines. So one of the Junk Jubilee shows was my birthday, and her and her boyfriend took me out to eat. So we had became friends. And then her boyfriend, her partner, he ended up passing away. And I'm telling you that they would haul the biggest primitive cabinets that you've ever seen. And they would take multiples to shows. So I just couldn't imagine how Marsha was going to do that by herself, and I volunteered to help her at one of the shows, which ended up being Gold Rush Days in Oronoco. As we were talking about it this year, it seems like it was just yesterday that I started helping her, but it has now been 7 years. Here's just a little glimpse around her booth. And this is probably the lightest load that she has ever hauled. Typically what happens is I go to her house, hook up one of her trailers, she has another trailer, her truck bed is full, and we normally fill my truck bed once I get there. We take the 2 trailers in our truckloads and set up at Oronoco, which honestly, I have the best job ever getting to be on the setup crew versus the takedown crew. I stay up there for a couple days, and then the takedown crew comes up and helps her reload everything at the end of the show and then take back the other trailer. Now, this time she ended up having to go back up to get her second trailer, but my daughter had her senior photos, so I absolutely could not stay to help take that other trailer back. But she did have people there, her grandkids, to help her reload the trailer with the things that didn't sell. And honestly, this has always been one of those shows that you pull up and you start unloading, and people are literally buying the entire time you are unloading. So you kind of get things unloaded, but not really maybe styled and situated just because you're so busy helping people. So there's really a lot of multitasking going on. And then this weekend, pretty much every day called for rain, and we really lucked out because the rain was like more of a sprinkle and a mist and never lasted very long. And really, if you looked at the radar, we were like always on the edge, or the storm split and went around us. So we really couldn't have asked for better weather, or better rainy weather. How about that? So by the time we got everything unloaded, it was pretty much time to cover everything up for the evening. 1, so it's not as likely to get stolen, and 2, so it didn't get ruined in the rain. And then on the second day, we have a little bit more time to get things arranged. But my job is basically to be the muscle, unload, unpack things while she's helping customers cover things up if it starts to sprinkle, and be another set of eyes so that things don't walk off. When things calmed down, I did sneak away so that I could give you a little peek into what you can find at Gold Rush Days in Oronoco. So, what was I looking for on this trip? Since I was speed shopping, I really tried to narrow it down into some specific things that I'm wanting for my house. So, I'm still looking for a narrow cabinet, maybe not one that I will put between the dining room and the kitchen, but possibly one that I'm going to put more on the left side of the sliding glass door closer to the kitchen. If you haven't seen my house, I will link the playlist so that you can kind of check out my floor plan. I do a lot of decorating videos. So I'm looking for that little cabinet. I'm also working on my guest bedroom right now and struggling to find some side tables that I want. So I thought if I found something that called my name and I thought was inexpensive, then I would grab those. I'm always looking for like taxidermy, antlers, roe deer, some different things like that. So I kept my eye out for those. I thought being in Minnesota, I might have some good luck. However, I did find a couple little stools, but nothing that I was exactly on the hunt for. I'm also looking for some arrows, like some bow and arrows. I just want the arrow part and I want them in neutral colors. So a lot of times I can find them in bright colors, but I want them very neutral and plain. Struck out on that. I'm also looking for some tramp art. Always keep my eye open for that. I did find some really cool pieces. However, they were more than I wanted to spend. I think if I found the right piece, I would be fine spending more money, but nothing was just right. Oh my gosh, look at this piece. Wowza. I was really hoping also to find some artwork to match my ducks and the deer. I did find a little chicken painting, but it was little, like little, and it was $150. And I just couldn't pull the trigger on it because chicks are cute, but I'm looking more for wildlife. Maybe chickens are wildlife. I'm looking for wildlife, not farm animals, things you're gonna hunt and kill, which I guess you kill chickens. But anyway, it just wasn't quite right. And for $150 and being so small and it not being quite right for whatever reason, I just decided to pass on that. But I was definitely looking out for some old oils. And the other thing that I'm always keeping my eye out for are those hole punches that I have in my laundry room now. I've moved those all over my house, but I'm still on the hunt for some of those. And just anything that really called my name that had a good vibe. But those things as I was skimming booths is what I was really looking for. Now, I feel like I have a pretty good trained eye because this is my full-time job shopping. I a lot of times feel confident that I'm not missing something. If I miss it, it's not something that I'm really, really on the hunt for. At least that's how I logic it in my brain. So while I didn't really find anything that I was on the hunt for, I did have success in buying a few things. And these are things that are for sale other than the little butter press that I got. I will add that to the top of my door there on my slider in the dining room, which I have shared that in a few videos, but that one is a keeper, but everything else is for sale. And I do share those items at the end of the video. like I said, in the last 7 years, this flea market has changed. And if you are a vendor or if you are a customer to flea markets and antique shows, then you already know that the landscape of antique shows and flea markets has definitely changed. And we talk about that a lot, like why do we think that is? And me personally, I just really feel like when I did shows, I decided it was just too physically demanding and my emotions were all over the place. If you know your stuff's gonna get rained on, the wind is gonna blow things over and break it. It's very stressful. And then to put all of this work into a couple of days, and then it may or may not be a good dollar-wise show, and then you have to load everything up. I just didn't like that roller coaster of emotions for me personally, and so I stopped doing shows. And I feel like a lot of people my age, and especially people younger than me, don't set up at shows like this older generation does, and the older generation is in retirement. So a lot of the fewer number of vendors is just simply because they've retired and they haven't been replaced with newer, younger vendors, because I really feel like online has really affected the shows in the sense that me as a younger person, I am used to and accustomed to selling things online, where maybe somebody who's done shows forever, it's harder for them to pivot to online. They just keep doing what they're familiar with, what they know. While Oronoco has changed a lot, it's still worth the drive because right next to it is another flea market. So they have Gold Rush Days in Oronoco, and there is another show in Rochester at their county fairgrounds. It definitely makes it worth the time if you are going to be hitting up both. Okay, I'm gonna show you what I picked up. I didn't get a whole lot, but when I was running back and forth to the truck, I saw my neighbor's booth and ran over to that one a couple of times because it was just so close. And I ended up getting this cute little pig. I love, love, love the shape. So like this part of it is kind of unique, I feel. Then a different time, I kept eyeing these and trying to decide if I wanted to get them or not. And then basically right before I was leaving to head home, I went ahead and grabbed some of them. He had more than this and he had sold, already sold some too. I got these geese decoys. These two are the same shape or cut out. So you could hang these on the wall or you could stick them in the ground or lean them on a shelf or whatever. So I liked that shape. I liked this shape even better. And it's funny because I just saw someone do some bigger like swan decals in their bathroom. And for whatever reason, it did not occur to me to get some facing the different direction. So I've got 5 like this with the stake all in the same position. So they're all facing the same way. He did have one that was facing this direction with the little stake on the back side or on the opposite side. And I ended up leaving it because it was kind of like odd man out, but now I am kicking myself because I think it would look cute to have one going each direction above Cash's toilet. So I'm a little bit bummed on that. Now, I am assuming that underneath this spike, it's not painted, but I might try and pry one off just to see. These geese are $48 each. And just to kind of show you the different shape, this one kind of sits more like a duck and this one sits more like a swan, just in my opinion. Well, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it, and I would love for you to tell me if you have been to Oronoco Gold Rush Days before, and if you haven't, you should definitely plan on attending.